Hello my lovelies, I hope you're okay. Welcome back here to Busy Bee Budgets, where we're all about intentionality and making the most of our money, which really couldn't come at a better time, could it? So I started my journey back in February last year, so just kind of, I guess, before it all got too crazy with fuel prices and energy prices and cost of food and everything going up. But obviously it was just like the best thing that I could have done. So I am here for week 2 cash stuff, week 1 clear out. I'm going to stuff some sinking funds as well. And for those of you who watched my video last week, and thank you, I finally got to 500 subs, so thank you so much for the people who took me to 500, like, much appreciated. But what I set myself a couple of challenges last week, and I'm going to be doing that through the whole of January. I didn't want to set one big like challenge or thing that I was going to do in January, just because I think it would have felt quite tough, because January feels tough anyway, doesn't it? But what I set myself last week was a £50 food shop, and as you will see, not wishing to like ruin the surprise, but I've actually got some money left over, so I stuck to that £50. So now I'm going to make it a new rule for myself that if my husband's away, I limit myself to a £50 food shop, because I usually have £100 a week for food, to cover the two of us, the dog, cleaning products, toiletries, everything that basically I buy at the supermarket. But I often find when he's away, I'm like, I'll just put an extra little treat in for me, or I might like have a little takeaway or whatever. So it was really good for me just to see that actually, like, when he's away, £50 is good. And my husband works away, not loads, but maybe like a third of the year, I guess. So, or like a quarter of the year, whatever. So it's enough that it will add up over time. So I'm going to make that one of my new rules. And I did track everything I spent for a week, which I've been meaning to do since I started and just haven't got round to. So I'll just grab my little pad. And I've just been using this really simple, it's actually a wellness planner, but I had kind of it knocking around and I hadn't really used it for that. So I've just noted down like everything I've spent. So I'm definitely going to continue doing that. And what I'm doing is not making a note of what I spend at the bank for like bills and stuff, but just everything that I spend out my cash envelopes, just so I can generally see kind of what's happening. And actually it was interesting because I went to kind of the food shop more, Sainsbury's at least twice last week, and I went to Waitrose, so 3 different supermarkets in the week. So obviously that's something to kind of keep an eye on, like as we continue. And then also I've been 3 times this week as well, so yeah, it's obviously a bit of a pattern for me, so I need to probably get better at meal prepping, but that's why I think it's really useful to do this kind of thing, because it shows you where like those habits are. So and I also set myself for the whole of January, even though I just said I didn't set myself any goals, I set myself a buy nothing new month. So I can buy stuff, but it has to be either off eBay or secondhand or whatever. And this one really came into its own because, I don't know about you guys, I'd be really interested to hear in the comments, but the main thing I seem to buy at the moment is stuff to do with budgeting. And I think, like, obviously buying all the savings challenges and stuff. And then I decided I wanted some new placeholders because I was kind of going through my binders and moving cash around. And obviously I'm trying to save quite a lot at the moment for our house move. And I thought, I could do some new placeholders. So I went onto Etsy and like put some stuff on my basket. And then I was like, no, you said you were going to buy nothing new. So I'm going to leave them where they are for now, in the basket. And then maybe at the end of the month, if I still really want them, I will buy them. Or I'm thinking maybe I'll just create my own placeholders, nowhere near as beautiful as the ones I bought from Budget with Ira or other places. But I almost spent 40 quid on placeholders, which I just like had to check myself, because that's kind of not the purpose of it, is it? So what I'm going to do this week is focus on selling on eBay. So I'm trying to declutter, trying to get rid of stuff. And so this week I'm going to focus on selling on eBay. But I'm glad that I'm kind of, ticking along with these kind of goals. And so track everything for a week I can tick off the £50 week food shop. My husband's actually going to be away for the last couple of weeks of this month as well. So I'm going to do that when I come to my budget. But today we are stuffing £240. But first, if we see, so I'm just going to pop that over there so I can see it, what was left in my folders. So food, as I say, has actually got, I think it's 44 pence left. Yep, 44. Now, I don't know what I've done with my penny challenge little tracker, but that's gone somewhere. So I'm just going to pop it in there for now and keep a little record of it. But I might just put all my change in there this year and see what happens. So now nothing left in food. I think I've got 60 left in fuel, 20, 40, 60. Yep, I spent 90, which is about a tank for me. I'm going to a wedding this weekend, so it's quite a long drive, so I'll probably use most of that tank, and then I've got another weekend trip next weekend, so I'll probably use all of that, but I knew it was going to be a bit of a spendy month with fuel. Spends has got, it's got £3 plus 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. So that was the envelope that the budget with Ira thing's going to come out of. So I'm glad that I restrained myself, and this is getting stuff quite a lot because of the wedding and also my weekend away next week. Kind of the aim is to enjoy that, so that'll be getting stuff today. Miscellaneous, I think I spent out of there. I bought a it's like a storage thing for wrapping paper. Very exciting, but I did buy it second hand. So giving has got 20, and then fitness has got 30, I think. Yep. And then this was the money that I set aside last week from my £100 for my food shop. And I put an extra £10 in because of I moved around some envelopes. So I've actually got £60 to pull out, and what I'm going to do is put that in my sinking funds in a bit. So I'm going to pop that to one side. I'm just going to pop that £3 into my penny challenge as well. And just so I don't get coins kind of knocking around. So that is that. So let's count the cash. So we've got 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 200, 210, 220, 230, 240. So for once that is right. Let's see if we can actually stuff it right. And what I did last week is I didn't have enough 10, so I sort of overstuffed some categories and understuffed others. So I'm doing the balance of that this week, if that makes sense. So I'm going to put 100 into food this week. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And what I'll do is this week I'm going to put 60 on my Jam Donut app, which is a gift card app which I get cash back from, and then I'm going to keep 40 back just because I know I'm away and out and about and stuff, and so just give me some more cash to buy food while I'm out rather than doing it all through Sainsbury's, which is what I usually do. Fuel is not getting anything. Spends is getting another 100. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 100. So obviously I'm going to have quite a lot in spends, but that is because I've got the wedding coming and this weekend away, so I wanted to have plenty of cash so that I can enjoy it. And that's kind of the whole point of this budgeting journey, isn't it? Is that you're prioritising where you do want to spend money and other areas where you don't. So I'm going to put 10 into miscellaneous. Giving's getting nothing this week because I double stuffed it last week, so 20 left in giving. And then fitness is getting, should be 30, 10, 20, 30. But I think this is one, I'm really busy at the moment, kind of, I know I keep banging on about this goddamn move, don't I? But I'm really busy, like, with the cluttering, and work's really busy, so I'm not really kind of doing as much. And I'm away for 2 weekends when I usually go to a weekend yoga class. So I am trying to build it in more to my day. So I'm trying to do yoga off the internet, like off YouTube, and also make sure I'm walking and doing my steps and stuff. So there's probably going to be quite a lot left over on fitness. So we'll see where we get to towards the end of the month, and then that might be one again that I kind of pop into roll over envelope so I can then put it in sinking funds. So that is my cash stuff for this week. So what I tend to do is stuff more at the beginning of the month, so weeks 1 and 2, and then it gets lighter each week. So as you'll see, week 3 we're down to 230, and then weeks 4 and 5 is 130, where I'm just kind of doing the minimum stuff. And as I say, actually what I'm going to do for weeks 4 and 5 while my husband's away is reduce that down to £50 and stuff my sinking funds a bit more. So, right. What I did as well with my bills is I have put £2,000 from my... So what I've done this month a bit differently is I started to allocate what the bills will be for our new house. So although we haven't moved yet, what I'm starting to do is get used to the bills amount. So the mortgage and the bills are significantly higher in the new house. So what I've done from this month is start paying that into the bills account. But so I can get better interest, what I've done is move £2,000 out of that, which is complete buffer, into a interest, like a higher interest savings account. So what I'm going to do is work towards this 5k saving challenge, and what that will be is on top of my emergency fund. So I've got £1,000 as my emergency fund, but what I'd like to do by April is like save £5,000, And that £5,000 is mainly going to be funded by me overpaying into the home account before I move. So probably not going to move in February. Well, like, we're not moving in January, and we're probably not going to move in February. Then maybe towards the end. But basically, between that, what I've already kind of got saved up, and maybe a bit of extra money from one of my paychecks, that will take me to £5,000. And that will be a month's worth of both my bills, my fixed bills, and this loan will be disappearing, but also enough to stuff my variables for a month. So should the worst happen, I can keep the lights on and feed and clothe us and everything. And also, obviously, some of this discretionary spending, if I was really in a pickle, I would be kind of, obviously spends would be being reduced. I could cut the food budget. So there's extra fat in there. So it's probably 2 months worth of variable costs and a month worth of fixed bills. So that's kind of the plan. So I have saved up £2,000 so far. What I'm going to do is at the end of this month clear out that account to zero and then start again. So I've got a bit of a buffer in there at the moment. I think around £300, but I'll kind of sort that out at the month end. So we are crossing off £2,000 off this, which is exciting. So 150, 225, 325, 400, 525, 550, 625, 750, 725, 825. And this is where it's going to get interesting, is it? What did I just say that was? 85. 225, 325, 400, 525, 550, 625, 750, 775, 875. So if I cross off a 125, that will take me to 1,000. And then I want to do another 1,000. So 80, 130, 205, 305, 455, 455, 460, 530. This is why people use calculators, isn't it? 630, 755, 760, 830, 880. So I want a 120 if I can find it. There probably isn't going to be one of those now, is there? Let's cross off a 125, and what I'll do is transfer an extra £5 into that saving account. So that will be £2,005, and then I'm hoping with next month's paycheck that will take me kind of most of the way there. And then what I'm going to do is pop that 5k away, as I say, on top of my emergency fund should anything kind of happen, and I just don't have to worry about it. So that is that. And then what I'm going to do is 20, 40, 60 to stuff into my sinking funds. So this is my adulting or grown up sinking funds binder, and this has basically everything that can go wrong or when you need stuff. So I've got 1,000 already in my emergency fund, I've got 250 in health, I've got 500 in vets, I've got 400 left in gifts because I have taken out £100 for the wedding gift. Car has got £1,210. I paid for my MOT, so that's £40 short of where it was. Experiences, I have paid for quite a lot out of experiences. I had £1,000 at the beginning of the month, and I'm left to £350. But what I have done is book and fully pay for a holiday, and also for a couple of other things. So like a brunch thing with my friends, and also a like long distance walk that I wanted to do. So what I did at the beginning of January was sit down and actually plan out over the year what are the things that I want to do. And this is kind of the money to fund that. So some of the experiences will be spent on the hotel for this wedding. But what I did is sort of allocate myself things I wanted to achieve and have spent that out of experiences. So again, it's lots of money we're talking about, but it comes down to being intentional with my money and actually using it for stuff that I really want to do. So I think before I started budgeting, and mainly before the pandemic, I was guilty, particularly as we were on a high income, of just saying yes to everything and doing everything because I could. And now I think that both the combination of the pandemic and then also the budgeting journey has just made me be much more mindful, much more intentional about that. So although I'm spending quite a lot out of experiences at the moment, it's this stuff that's going to last me over the rest of the year. So it's the things I'm going to look back at the end of the year and be glad that I did. So although I've spent quite a lot out of that, and that will need continually stuffing throughout the year, I'm not going to stop it now. Home has got 100. This is the start of my renovation fund for the new house. We will be pulling some money out of the house sale to fund that, and also I have set my new budget up from April, when I am expecting a pay rise because I'm going back full time. I've allocated a portion of that money each month to be funding the home renovation. But again, about, I guess, intentionality and how this changes your habits. Before, I would have just whacked it on credit cards, i.e. I would have paid for stuff for the house, like, new washing machines, fridge freezers, carpets, anything that you would have thought was whacked on the credit card and worried about paying it off later. And this time, because of budgeting and because of this journey, I'm now going to pace myself and just save up for things. And not only just throw everything at the house renovation fund, I've also got some other financial goals that I want to be working to that are kind of, I built into my new budget. And I guess an example of that is that £5,000 savings fund you saw. Like, the plan is that this money goes away and is for a rainy day. Old me would have been like, I'll just whack that on, new carpets or new curtains, or like buying stuff we needed for the new house, and kind of get down to zero at the end of each month. Whereas this whole process has just made me much more, not necessarily cautious, I guess, but just, much more kind of proportionate and a bit more measured in terms of not just like buying everything or doing everything because I can, but just thinking actually, like, let's be sensible here and let's kind of like think about that. So 100, which is was a gift for my mum for Christmas, and that's kind of the token start of our home fund, but that will kind of get stuff later. Month ahead, so that's the 2,000 that I've just crossed off there. So I've got a 2,000 placeholder in there, and then that financial goals element is that one that I was just talking about in terms of with the new budget. I want to be putting regular amounts of money away each month for like our long-term future. So that was a long-winded way of saying this £60 isn't going in that adult budget, but what it is going to go to is my fun budget. So this is my fun binder, really. So these are my sinking funds, but more for the nicer things in life. So this is everything that kind of goes wrong, and then this is for nice stuff. So I've been doing Christmas challenge, but I fully stuffed that last week for the month, so I don't need to do that. And similarly, I'm saving up a treats savings challenge. I think this is a budget with Shah one. It's like really lovely. But I've already stuffed that for the whole of this month, so I don't need to add anything to that. So I'm going to put £20 into clothes. So I do have a dice challenge, but what I'm just going to do, just put £20 in. And I've already got 12 in there, so that's 32. And then I'm just going to cross off £20 worth of these. So let's do 6, 12, 18, and then 20. And the end of January will mark a year for me without buying any new clothes, apart from one dress I bought for Christmas, which I wore loads and got loads of nice compliments on, so that was definitely worth it. And that was only like a 20 quid dress from Sainsbury's. So I have obviously said that I'm not going to buy anything till the end of January. I'm obviously doing the buy nothing new challenge, so I won't be buying anything new. And then I think what I'm going to try and do is do a low buy year for the rest of the year. So just be, again, much more intentional and mindful about buying clothes. Over Christmas and with the sales and stuff, I was definitely starting to get into that, I could just buy this and I could just buy that. And that's a like good price. And actually it's like, I don't need this stuff. Like, I've still got a wardrobe full of clothes despite a massive declutter. So I'm just trying to really, I guess just be much more mindful and intentional and not just buy stuff because I like it or it's nice or whatever, which are all lovely reasons, but it turns out that actually, kind of you only wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time or whatever it is. So there you go. So right, that's getting nothing. Appliances is going to get 20. So 20. So I've got 20, 40, 50, 60, 70. So let's cross off a 20 on here. And this is, I'll have it even after I move and even after I've bought stuff, but this is for everything from, a new kettle right through to, the fridge freezer goes. So I'm going to probably always have this as a sinking fund. Obviously there will be expensive new stuff to buy in the new house, because the people we're buying it off are taking everything with them, so I will need to buy stuff. But that will in part be funded by some of the money we're going to pull out of the house. But this is much more for, kind of ongoing whatever. So the aim is to have £1,000 in here over time, that I can keep stuff in. This is my car insurance binder. So I'm just going to check I don't want to stuff it in anywhere else. Yeah, so I don't want to stuff it in growth because I've got 500 in there and I'm not really touching it or planning to touch it at the moment. that's what I use. I will use. I haven't used it yet. But it's my intention that I'll use that for things like if I want to do an evening class or an online course or something about like improving me and improving bits and pieces, but I haven't kind of decided what that is. So that will kind of stay as that at the moment. And garden, I want to 20, 40, 50 in there. So that is for the new house. I want to start growing vegetables and fruit and things we can eat. So this is kind of some money to go towards that. So do I want to put it in garden or do I want to put it in car insurance? Tell you what, if I swap those two tens for 20 and then put £10 in here and £10 in garden, that feels like a nice compromise, doesn't it? So we've then got 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 85 going in car insurance. And my car insurance isn't due till August. It was about £300 last year, so this will more than cover it. But I am thinking, what did I just put in there, 10? I am thinking about upgrading my car or changing my car in April. My current car's on about 125,000 miles and it's getting to the point where it's starting to be expensive. Last year my MOT cost me over £1,000 because it needed some work doing, and then the garage that was doing the MOT couldn't do it. I had to go to BMW, and it was just like, you know, when it's just like a palaver. So I've paid for my MOT this year, which I paid the 40 whatever pounds it is, and then I'm gonna see how expensive that is, and then it might be that a case of that I get a new car in April, but that I can get that through work, so I don't need to save for that. Right, so I'm gonna put £10 in garden then, so then I've got 20, 40, 50, 60, so that's starting to grow. And I think for those of you who've been watching me for a while will know that I've only just started doing these like treaty sinking funds and the savings challenges, and I'm really loving it. I think it's like the gamification of it, and like just seeing how some of these just small bits of money that you stuff, you know, kind of here and there, like that leftover money from the food shop basically, can really add up and make a difference. So I'd say if you're not really doing this yet, or you haven't kind of got there, like it's a really nice bit to add on to budgeting. But I think, like I said in my last video, or one of my other videos, the thing is with budgeting is you kind of need to go at your own pace. And I think if you try and do everything at once, straight off, perfectly, you'll kind of struggle. It's a bit like a diet, I guess. I guess if you go full out and kind of, you know, just ban everything, you end up going a bit mad. So I think small and steady's the way, and I'm really glad that that's the kind of the way I did it. And I think for me as well, obviously, the focus of the new house and that has changed the way that I have approached like this budgeting kind of journey. So yeah, okay. Thank you so much for listening to me waffle and ramble today. It was a bit of a long-winded one. I will see you back next week for my week 3 cash stuff. I'll let you know how I get on the wedding. We'll see how the spending is looking after that. And I will see you then. All right, take care. Bye.